Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi. To my right, the Swami George Abraham. To my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Guys, can you believe through this week we're halfway through the basketball season?
We're getting older and they go faster.
I'll say.
Good point.
Let's go to Spotlight High School basketball top scorers. Boys, I was there for the game. We're going to talk about it here. Ethan Morton of Butler, 51. He didn't have a tray. He broke his own school record of 48. It was a tremendous performance by Ethan. And then he followed it up with, he had an off night. He only had 27 against Central Catholic. Levi Orton, AC Valley's games of 39 and 37. Scott Frazier of Knock, 33 and 21. Mason Bush of Seneca Valley, 30, 27, and 20. Elijah White, Portersville Christian, 30 and 26. Dan Petcash, Pine Richland, 29 and 28. Steve Antuono, Elwood City, 27. Greg Shilkowski, Pine Richland, 26. Ben Ringheisen at Hampton, 26 and 24. Andrew Recchia of Mars, 25. Jalen Vaughn, Beaver Falls, 25. Demetrius McKnight of Newcastle, 25. Julian Sands of Knock, 23. Corey Fusco of Mars, 23. Aiden Skradsky of Freeport, 22. Tavon Johnson of Summit Academy, 21. Tyler Hollerman of Portersville Christian, 20. And Ben Drake, First Baptist Christian, 22. For the girls, Marianne Ackerman, we saw her a few weeks ago. She poured in 30 for the Rock. Ty Johnson of Mars, 21. And a college man, Joel Stutz of BC3, 50 points. That puts him over 1,000 for his career. I'd like to find out where he's going to go to school. He's had a terrific 2-year stint at BC3. John Warren, the second, he's Slippery Rock University, 29 and a win over Cal. Micah Till, Slippery Rock University, 25 and a 74-69 upset win over previously undefeated IUP. The Rock 10 and 5, 7 and 1, now tied for first place in the PSAC West with IUP. You were there.
Tremendous game. They played outstanding basketball, led wire to wire. It was one of those where you kept thinking IUP's going to make a run, but they never got over the hump, and to the Rock's credit, they finished them off.
College women, Brooke Hinderleiter, Slippery Rock University, 29. Mackenzie Craig, BC3, 22. Casey Kretzer, BC3, 20. And Butler and Duquesne grad, Olivia Bresnahan, she's been named Director of Basketball Operations for the women at Wake Forest University.
She probably would have had a goal like that all along.
Yes.
To stay in sports and stay involved, and that's a congratulations.
They do a lot of stuff. A buddy of ours does it at Pitt. He does a little bit of everything, from what they eat to their studies, their iPad.
Very important position.
Oh, it is. Yeah, very important, because these kids, if you let them to their own device, they'll miss dental appointments and every other thing.
You know, we often talk about dual athletes playing two sports in one season. And Butler's Jack Cottaspot, he won the pole vault 14 feet at the Slippery Rock High School Indoor Invitational. His 14.5 is fourth in his state. He's also a wrestler for the Golden Tornado and sports a 13-1 record. Tremendous with both those sports, as demanding as they are, and congratulations to the coaches. We've said this before, for working together.
Yeah, I like that second comment you made. And a lot of coaches talk the talk, don't walk the walk. They'll say they'll let somebody do it until it happens to them. Then they say, I don't know, you should make a choice.
And you know what's good about both those sports? To wrestle, you have to beat the guy that's behind. Like there's no, well, maybe he's better. Daddy thinks he's better. And the pole vault, and I think they would go together, that upper body strength,
yes,
the pole vault and the wrestling. And that's kudos to that young man. But as you say, the coaches sharing them, they're better both. They're both better off.
And on top of it, he's an outstanding student.
There you go.
Our stories of the week. Let's start with that high school basketball game. I was there. Pine Richland 79, Butler 74 at Pine. Ethan Morton had the 51. And a strategy from Jeff Ackerman was to play man-to-man and shut off Butler's perimeter shooting, which they did. Morton had 51, most of them on drives, pull-up jumpers. Petcash guarded him. Never once I was behind the Pine bench did I hear Ackerman say, you got to stop, you got to do something. Never said anything. He talked about ball movement for his team. They found a lot of layups inside the Butler zone. And these two other kids, Petcash had 28, but these two other guys, Greg Shulkowski and Colin Llewellyn, they have been tornado killers the last 3 years. Shulkowski with 17, Llewellyn with 18. They've done it against Butler in the championship game down at the Peterson Event Center, state playoff game at North Allegheny. And this with Butler jumped out. How many times this happened? Butler jumped out to a 12-point first quarter lead, 20-8, and Ackerman just he doesn't overreact to any of that. He just time out, keep moving the ball, this and that, and they came back. They trailed 40-39 at the half. Morton had 27 for Butler, but that defense, they just shut off Butler's outside three-point shooting.
Well, I wasn't there, so you were there, but it sounds like it was the offense that won the game. When you get, 40-39, that's a college score at halftime.
Yeah.
So I'm saying both teams had to be an offensive juggernaut. What was the fun? 79, 74?
79, 74.
What I'm saying, that's a college score.
153
Yes.
points.
Here's what's funny. Going into the game, Pine averaged 77, Butler averaged 74.
And to carry that through, Pine Richmond seems to win these games and also win later on. And Georgia said it a million times, Butler's good enough offensively to beat anybody. Will they improve their defense is going to be the issue. That's it.
I just don't think you can give up 80 in the high school. They've given up 90 twice. I don't think you can.
They give up 70 a game, Butler. That's
a lot.
They average around 74, 75.
Didn't
they
those
give up
two
70
teams
a
that
game.
spank them both have 90?
They gave up, I think, 87 or 90 to
Mount
Alderdice and Mount Lebanon.
Well, there you go. 90 points in a high school
Yeah,
game.
Pine has defeated Butler 7 out of the last 8 times. We've done several of those games.
It's not the
And
offense.
I bet 5 times Butler had anywhere from an 11 to a 13-point lead in those games and couldn't hold on.
Yeah, that recipe tells me that it's not a fluke. It's going to happen again if Butler doesn't change something. And I don't see them. I don't practice them every day. But I'm saying if you have a player like Morton and you get a 12-point lead, give him the ball and say,
4 corners.
yeah, 4 corners, run off a minute before we shoot this ball. I take it down. I said, once we get a 12-point lead, we're not giving this up.
Well, here's the thing you look at with Pine, with 3 guys that score points versus 1. The drop to that second guy is so great that it's hard for Butler to win. I mean, when he gets 50, my goodness. But if the next guy has 11,
But the next guy had 10.
that's the
So,
point.
But I think Butler had 1 tray for the night.
Yeah.
But then those 3 guys for Pine, Petcash, Shulkowski, and Llewellyn combined for 63 is almost as if Ackerman was saying, if your one guy can outscore our 3, God
And
bless you.
it is what he's saying. So you cut the time off. It's not the scoring thing. You cut the time down, and so my 51 becomes their 47, and I win the game. If you keep playing the same speed with 3 guys against 1, what do you think is going to happen, Eddie? It's going to happen over and over.
I don't think he's going to change his strategy the next time.
I sure hope he does.
He's going to do the same thing, Ackerman. I mean, he's going to play
Not
that
Ackerman.
man.
I'm saying he'll stay
Butler.
the same thing. Butler needs to change because they seem to come up the same exact way. You've seen a million. We've done a million of them.
So they won 1. They
Yeah.
won that one that.
And they're always ahead early.
They won on a buzzer
hit the
beater
shot at the
by
buzzer,
Morton last
yeah.
year. I was there at Pine Ridge, and he hit a buzzer beater to beat them, I don't know what it was, 75, 74.
both excellent.
Something like that.
Both
And they're both very
excellent
good teams.
teams.
It just seems that the route of the game, whatever the scheme of the game, Butler gets ahead by 12, and you sit there relaxed saying, I've seen this one before. At the end of the game, what's going to happen?
Now, Morton is such a great player, but I'll tell you what, Dan Petcash, he's outstanding, overshadowed by that 51-point performance. There's a discussion we had about Morton with some guys. Let's just say, I think he turns 18 his junior year here. Let's say John Beeline from Michigan comes and says, I want you to come to Michigan. Can you graduate early and be there by next December? What do you do?
It depends on how much he loves high school. I mean, what he wants to do. Basketball-wise, it'd be a good decision.
If you're the coach, what would you? He comes to you and he says, "Coach."
Oh no,
what do you think?
I tell him to make the best decision.
Well, you just ask for your advice.
Yes, I'm going to talk to him about schooling.
If he has a
about
father and
social.
mother, I stay out of that one.
Yes, that's
If
right.
he has a father and mother. If he does it now, George Jr., I'm involved. If he's got a father and a mother, I'm out.
But even just ask you his
Yeah,
advice.
I give him
tell
opinion.
That's what he'd say. That's the
You
opinion.
give a pro-
That'd be a
your
good opinion.
opinion.
Say, listen, I think your mother and dad should make this
Yeah,
decision.
Penn State had 11 guys start school Monday for football. 11.
Same idea right there. Huh?
Yeah, a lot of schools are doing that. just like Christophic is at
Yep,
Notre Dame
exactly.
right now. Hey, on another note, Jeff Ackerman, he's coaching with a heavy heart. His 6-year-old son, Bryson, has a polio-type illness that has left him confined to a wheelchair. He's been at Children's Hospital and requires around-the-clock care. So our thoughts to him and his wife, and kudos to his wife for what she has to do, and this permitting Jeff to. He was going to quit coaching, but as his wife's urging, he's continued.
Well, a lot of fans forget that coaches are human beings. they really do. They see him as something different. And he has to go home and with, like you said, a heavy heart. Go. Our prayers are with you, and I'm sure that with a wife that you have is taking care of you, things are going to work out okay, Jeff.
Next up for Butler, 10-3, 3-1. They'll be at Seneca Valley tonight after we do our show. We'll be there to cover the game for you. You'll receive it on tape delay. Seneca Valley 7-4, 2-2. Let's go to our high school power rankings. Boys, Alderdice number 1 in 6A, followed by undefeated Upper St. Clair, Pine Richland, Mount Lebanon, Latrobe, and Butler. In 5A, undefeated Moon, Mars, Penn Hills, Woodland Hills, and Franklin Regional. In 4A, guess who's vaulted to the top? Ambridge in the section undefeated, followed by Quaker Valley. They suffered their first loss. Newcastle, Uniontown, and Knock is really good, having a terrific year at 10-3. In 3A, Lincoln Park, Seton LaSalle, North Catholic, Eloquippa, and Deer Lakes. The Quips took a spanking by number 1, 2A, Olsh. Sarah's number 2 in 2A, followed by Swickley Academy, Jeanette, and Summit Academy in there at 6-3. I think it's the first time we've ever had them ranked.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him make an appearance. I'm glad to hear that.
And in 1A, it's Nazareth Prep, Cornell, St. Joseph, Union, and Monessen. For the girls, 6A, number 1, undefeated North Allegheny, followed by Norwin, Peters Township, Bethel Park, and Fox Chapel. And 5A, undefeated Chartiers Valley, Penn Hills, Oakland Catholic, Gateway, Franklin Regional, Slippery Rock High School. And in 4A, it is North Catholic, Blackhawk, Central Valley, Southmoreland, and Freeport. In 2 weeks, the 28th, Freeport at North Catholic, a rematch, and we will be there for that game. In 3A, it's Beaver, Neshannock, Shadyside Academy, Deer Lakes, and Washington. In 2A, Bishop Canevin, Olsh, Sarah, Brentwood, and Southside Beaver. And in 1A, Greensburg Central Catholic, West Green, Rochester, Clairton, and Swickley Academy. Let's go to the NFL divisional playoffs. There's some great football going on. The AFC, Kansas City finally gets the monkey off their back. Their first home playoff win since '93, 31-13 over Indy. I thought their defense really stepped up. That's the best I've seen their defense this year. Mahomes threw for 278, one score, ran for another one. But running back Damian Williams, 129 yards. And Andy Reid told people after Kareem Hunt was dismissed, he said, I've had the best balance and depth I've ever had at running back.
And it proved it true, but you're right. The defense played so much better than they played all year. 3 and outs for Indianapolis up and down the field, and that allowed Kansas City to run the football. They usually don't want to run it as much. Their defense had a lot to do with that game for sure.
10 degrees this week.
It'll be a cold one.
Get the long johns.
And speaking of the other game, New England 41, the Chargers 28. The Patriots scored in their first 4 possessions to take a 35-7 halftime lead. And young Tom Brady. I was watching the game just amazed how that ball was coming out of 34 of 44 for 343 yards. It doesn't look like what a 41-year-old quarterback should do.
Well, 41 today's 31, and I say it all the time. The nutrition, how he takes care of himself.
Today. Breeze was
I don't think age number at all compared to the old days.
Uh-huh.
I really don't. And if you didn't know Brady was 41,
you wouldn't know. You wouldn't say a word.
You wouldn't think that at all. And because no one takes better care of themselves.
Obviously.
Probably in sports.
Good point.
Than Tom Brady. He thinks he takes it that serious. He's that good. Belichick's that good. But Belichick is a coach, and Brady, who's the best of all time. And you get that kind of thing. Or he's a juggernaut.
That's what your guys tell me. Oh, San Diego's. And I said, on this one, I want to be 1 game late.
I remember you told me.
I called him. I said, I don't know a thing. But I know this. I'm going to be 1 game late on New England. I'm going to say, I should have known. Because there it is. Like Sunday, I can't take Kansas City.
That game was over before you blinked.
No, it was funny. And that big, he's compiling again, throwing sidearm at the end of the game, trying to catch up,
Right.
padding his stats. So when he goes to Canton, they'll say, boy, he had lots of yards, but he'll also have zero chance.
And and I heard some young guys say, "Wow, New England's defense wasn't that good." I was thinking, what game did you watch? Really, it was 38-7.
Well, they're very underrated.
And then
Yeah.
at the end, it was just what you call some garbage
Yeah,
touchdowns.
they got
at the end.
four secondary guys that can play man to man. That's what you need today. You can't play zone in these sports anymore. You have the guys.
San
the men.
Diego,
Well,
they
Gilmore
Yeah.
is tremendous.
Shuts down their
corner.
number one. They picked
Yeah.
him up in a free agent from Buffalo, which is a great pickup. And then you put the McCourties out there. They're really good. And that's what they've
Noy.
done. They've
I
got a
heard
good secondary.
Hushman's ought to take. He said, "I'm watching. I'm thinking, come on, Anthony, are you going to play? You're getting chopped up. Never a change.
Yeah.
2 guys caught 240 of the 300.
Yeah, Sony Michel, 129 yards
Yeah,
rushing,
see.
and James White caught 15 passes for 90-some yards. And Brady just picked them
Oh,
apart.
it's Brady. I say it all the time. People get tired of hearing me, but there's nobody like him ever. Montana's the closest to him, but there's no one ever.
And
like
the
Brady.
Chargers try to counter with smaller, quicker linebackers. New England saw it and ran the ball down
Yeah,
their
that's what
throat.
they do. That's what Brady does.
He did that in Pittsburgh one year. He came in and ran it every play.
Yeah, Brady knows. They know exactly what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
This is their 8th straight divisional AFC championship game. The 13th for Brady and Belichick together. One more win, they tied the Steelers for all-time wins in NFL history playoffs with 36.
Well, the Steeler team was better, but they didn't have Brady.
Right. Hey, Kansas City favored by 3. The two teams met earlier this season, 43-40, the Patriots and Foxborough. The last 4 times these teams have played, the Chiefs have scored 40 points 3 times. The last trip the New England had into Kansas City, they lost 41-14. So you guys tell me, what does any of this mean this Sunday?
Well, it tells me right now the Chiefs better score 40 to win because New England's going up and down the field against the Chiefs. I know that. I don't know if there's going to be turnovers. I don't know if the weather might have a big play in it. I don't know that, but I don't see how the way Brady's playing.
Well, cold weather's not going to bother the Patriots.
No, that's what they said. He said they asked a couple of these guys that played. They said, if it's not windy, forget it.
Well, if you're Belichick, you know what he's going to do. He's going to get ready for that running game. He's going to stuff that running game, and the Chiefs are going to be confident that they put 40 the last time. They didn't play.
You ain't stopping the
they didn't
Chiefs.
play good defense, so they're counting
They're
on
the
this
fastest
defense.
team, right? They're the
Yeah,
fastest.
they have
on the
everything.
team.
You're not
This
stopping Chiefs
being-
offensively, but I don't
Kelsey
know if
was
they can,
tremendous.
if they can stop New England. I don't. They haven't stopped anybody all year.
You got to put 2 scores. It sounds crazy, but that thing where Belichick always defers, tries to get the last touchdown of the first.
How
half.
about he didn't defer last
And
time?
the first touchdown.
First
of the
time all
second.
year he didn't
Well,
defer.
the last time they played New England in the championship game, they
Last team with the ball?
They blew a 14-point lead.
Interesting.
You can never relax
No.
against New England. So who wins this game? George?
Kansas City.
How about that? He said New England. He just changed his mind. He just changed his mind on
I'm
here. You hear that?
taking Kansas City
Who
in
you
this.
taking?
I'm taking Kansas City too.
All right, I have to go with New England, and
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't
go.
agree. I can't agree. And
No,
the
there's
over and
nothing wrong
under
with
is
it.
56. That's low to me.
That's
And
Because of the weather.
Yes.
The weather's it would be 60s if I think if the weather was like that.
NFC, the Rams 30, the Cowboys 22. The Rams defense shut down Dallas, held them to 47 yards rushing, and the Rams put up a record 273 yards rushing. C.J. Anderson, where'd he come from? 123, and Todd
Scrappy.
Gurley 115.
Now let me ask you two. I'm thinking, does this hurt a guy like Le'Veon Bell wanting all this money when you can take a guy off the scrap heap?
Oh yes,
That's what I thought.
for sure.
Well,
For
it,
sure.
it does, and then it doesn't, because you look at teams like maybe the Jets and the 49ers that have a lot of money under the cap to spare. One of those teams is going to go out and pluck.
I like what
Le'Veon.
you said. You need a lot of money for them if you're going to.
Yeah, they have the money under
Yes,
the cap. Now, the Saints 20, the Eagles 14 after the Eagles jumped out 14-0. What impressed me about the Saints, they were in no hurry. How about these drives they had of 92, 79, and 67 yards for touchdowns?
Well, the thing is, people talk about, once again, if you don't make it, everybody says, what kind of calls out? The fake punt changed the whole game around. And you understand, I've heard 7 times this year when a guy fake punted from the 30-yard line saying, what was that guy thinking?
That's what they said about Saban.
Yeah, when it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, everybody screams about it.
Right.
It was the whole change of the game. They went down and scored on that drive, and now it's 14-7. And let's get to 14-7.
Let me ask you.
But the guy who ran that fake, he was like a runner anyway,
Well,
wasn't he?
that's that
Oh, yeah, it was number
BYU.
7. Isn't it?
Yeah,
That's that BYU guy. He's
Little
their,
threat guy.
he's their
Yes.
Right.
Hey,
Hill.
let me ask you.
Hill.
You talk about this game, and these guys are, a lot of people have different opinions because of the score being high or whatever. I thought the Eagles were going to win when that ball. I thought they were going to drive late and win.
Well, I think they probably were, too. I think so,
When that
too.
ball went through the,
Jeffers.
Yes.
Jeffers'
That's
hands.
when the guy missed the field goal. I really did. I said, that set up the...
Because it put it to 42.
Set up for the Eagles, yes.
It was at the 42.
Right. Uh-huh. That's what indoors does for you, though.
Yes.
Indoors, that field goal's nothing to these kickers if you kick the ball right. Like outdoors, 52 is
You're
a
probably punting.
chance.
Yeah.
Yes, but indoors you can take
Now
that
the
chance.
Rams are at the Saints. Earlier in the season, the Saints won 45-35 in the Dome. Saints favored by 3.5. The over and under is 57. Out of all 4 teams in the championship games here, I think the Saints have the best defense.
They've been playing the best team. They had to.
They've been playing.
Because their offense hasn't played
Yeah.
good.
No.
That's 4 games in a row they've been doing nothing offensively. I think the New Orleans home field advantage is gigantic.
Yes.
If they didn't have that, I'd have the Rams for sure. But I never want to go against New Orleans at home. Somehow, I always think they're going to win at home.
So you're taking
New Orleans.
I'm taking the Saints.
I'll take the Rams with the points. With the 3.5.
No, you got to pick the outright winner.
Oh, no, I like Saints to win. I do.
Okay. It'll be interesting. The home teams have such an advantage.
Home team. That's the only reason I'm taking both teams.
No.
I could take New England and the Rams if they were home. If they were home, I'd switch my picks.
That's how
and-
close they are.
Yes.
And then coming into the playoffs, I believe it was the Chargers that had the 9th ranked defense, and it got shredded.
Yeah, it was boys against men with Brady playing that game. First of all, Belichick gets prepared.
2 weeks.
Yeah, he gets prepared, and then Brady goes on the field, and he's calling out what their defense is before they're in it. He knows exactly where to throw the ball.
I was watching today where someone said, "What will Belichick say they're going to play in this maybe an ice storm in Kansas City?" He said, "Well, one year that they went and played Miami, it was 100 degrees, and he said it'll be hot. Deal with it." He'll say it'll be cold. Deal with it.
No, they practice
That's it.
outside.
Yeah, they all do. They're all ready for this. There's not a player there who's thinking about the weather.
No.
These are
No.
professionals.
We'll be out there before the
These
game.
are professionals playing there.
Sleeveless.
This is what they dream of.
Yeah.
This is their chance to go to the Super Bowl.
How about Peyton bringing that case in with the Super Bowl ring and $250,000
That'll help a
cash?
little bit. That'll help a little bit, huh?
Yeah, you can't be that rich, and that doesn't matter.
Let's move on to the latest hot soap opera, the Steelers' search for yesteryear. Jerry Rice says that Antonio has reached out to him and wants to play for the 49ers for sure. This is interesting. This thing's not going to end until the March 13th, 18th window. And now former Steeler wide receiver, I heard Emmanuel Sanders with Denver. He said several years ago Peyton Manning was a better leader than Ben. And he ripped Ben for calling out Antonio and James Washington and said, this is Emmanuel, if that were me, I'd have walked up to Ben in the locker room and say, if you have something to say to me, say it to my face. Don't put it in the newspaper. What do you guys make about Emmanuel Sanders' comments?
I don't listen to him a bit. He's been a big mouth forever, and they're all big mouths. That's what I said to. They all talk.
But does he have a point?
What? No, because
Why
they all
not?
talk. That's why, because they all talk.
Does he have a point about Ben calling out players in the paper and not directly in the locker room?
You believe that immensely. So that's why you're bringing it up.
I believe
don't.
he should.
That's what
Of course I'm bringing it up because I know you disagree.
Yes. And I just think that Brown's going to cause havoc if somebody calls him out in the phone.
Doesn't matter
He
what
just
it is.
doesn't matter. If he doesn't get a pass thrown to him on the sideline, he's slamming stuff down. The biggest thing is, what do you do with him?
Yeah.
No, what do you do?
I don't give
Here's
him away.
Here's
I
an
don't
all-pro
care.
guy.
We already said, how do you bring him back? He quit on you.
I know, but
He was
I
defiant
know.
to Mike
you know the
Tomlin.
best thing about this, though, and George has taught me before, he doesn't know what I'm going to say. 6 of them have already come out and said, we need him. We need him back. Do you understand the old days at Butler and Altoona?
Yeah, go on.
You would have said, get out of here.
Get him out
All
of here.
6 guys from the Steelers already said, we got to bring him back. We like him.
I'm not sure everyone thinks like that on the Steelers. What do you say about what Emmanuel said about Ben? Talk to the players directly in the
I'm the
locker
wrong
room,
guy.
not in the
I think
newspaper.
so little of Roethlisberger as a person and off the field. I'm prejudiced. The same as I am with Tom, and I think he's the worst game day coach. But then I start comparing him to Belichick, who's the greatest ever, and I think,
Yes.
wait a minute.
Well, let me say, a talk show in Pittsburgh, if Ben's on there with a weekly
He shouldn't.
radio show, just let me say this. Those guys will attack Emmanuel and Antonio and defend Ben because he's on that show. I
those
find that to be
announcers?
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they
You're
did.
talking about the other announcers?
I'm
the players?
talking about the got on sports talk show.
Oh,
in
for
Pittsburgh.
sure.
Yeah,
For
because
sure.
they're not going to.
They do the same show every
day.
4 hours.
question
They just
about
change
that.
hosts.
There is no doubt about that one,
Yeah.
Eddie. None.
No.
All right, let's move on to Mike Munchak to Denver. I didn't know this. His contract was up. He moves on to Denver. His daughter lives there. How big of a deal is this to lose him?
It would depend who they get. There's a lot.
They already hired a guy.
Oh, I guess his name.
His
No, the
understudy,
assistant.
Sean
Guy used to get coffee.
Surratt.
So
Seriously,
he worked under Munchak.
Yeah.
For
then
5
he's-
years.
Then they're going to be fine. That's what he's going to do. He's going to
Well,
do Munchak.
he worked
things.
under him. Now he has to do it on his own.
Yeah, I know that, but
We'll see.
I really believe in the pros.
That's their most solid group,
You know.
too, isn't it? Their line. I mean,
if
guys with
you're
their head
not
on.
changing anything, then they can do it in their sleep. Those five
Yeah,
guys, no question
yeah,
about
they
it.
can. Long
No,
as
you know.
can he adjust like Munchak did?
Here's the thing. The question asked is, why would the guy leave lateral? That's the question.
Well, he left because of his family. He already said that.
It's one thing to carry in the canvas for Picasso.
Because he ain't
but
going.
you paint like him.
Because he's not going to New England. He's not or Rams. He's going to Denver. It isn't like he's going to some place that's this is short Super Bowl.
Do we
run.
make anything out of this, or is it nothing? That over the years, it's Dick LeBeau, Bruce Arians, Todd Haley, now Munchak have all left. Is there a pattern here?
Yeah, I think
Or
there's a
not?
pattern.
Is there?
Great
What is it?
coaches. He's hired great.
Well, but he's
coaches.
got rid of these guys,
But-
not Munchak.
But he's hired great
Do
coaches.
we know if they offered this guy? That's what I wonder.
Yeah, I don't know that either.
Because everybody thinks the world of him.
Yeah. Well, so do I.
Now, here's why you don't believe head coaches. Bruce Arians quit a year ago
Oh.
in Arizona because he said he wasn't feeling well and he wanted to spend more time with his family after coaching 97 years.
He's never told the
So
truth either.
I guess his wife threw him out. She couldn't stand him after 1 year. That's why I don't believe any of these guys. Saban wasn't leaving LSU, went to Miami. He was staying
Urban
in
Meyer
Miami.
had
went
a
to LSU.
heartthrob.
Urban Meyer, he'll be back in 2 years to coach.
But you're not bringing up the one you always let him go. Belichick signed with the Jets.
Right.
Well, bring him up too. We always we're building
he
him
did.
up.
I said.
No, you didn't.
None
No,
of
you
these
didn't. You
guys
said Saban.
don't-
You said
Well, I didn't. Bring him up. Bring him up.
I am.
I said coaches in general.
I am
No,
the guy.
you
George
didn't hear
has
me.
Roethlisberger
I said,
thing.
I said, don't believe any of these coaches.
I know.
Any of
You
them.
said, I'm
They're
glad
all
you include,
lying.
but sometimes any of the coaches don't include Belichick.
Wow,
I
include
do
him
include
too.
them.
Include
Did
him
You
too.
know who's worse?
Include
His
them all.
assistant. He's pulled out on team. He pulled out on a
On
Colts
Indy.
after agreeing,
Yeah.
and they had hired assistant.
Yes, and
that
but
guy
no one's
never
calling
hired.
that out though.
No.
That's
No.
to say they all call Tomlin out, but no one calls Belichick out.
But I
That's
think,
why he's
if you
call him out.
lived in New England, it'd be different. I think Tomlin, because we're
Because we
close-
live in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
good point.
yeah.
Hey, let's look at the Pens. Man, they're third place in the Metro, 25, 14, and 6, 3 points behind the Caps. Goalie Matt Murray, was criticized so much early in the season. 9 wins in a row. It's a new Pens record. The Pens are playing a style of hockey reminiscent of the back-to-back championships. The only negative is about their power play. They rank they're 19th, 33 out of 128, but you take off 10 for shorthanded goals, and it's not very, very good. So they're trying to work that out. If they think it's a serious problem come the end of the year, I don't consider it that way. The big problem is Patrick Hornquist with another concussion, his
Need him.
5th. What they do with him.
Yeah, those go together. When Horquist is playing on the power play, they're powerful. When he's not, then the net does not cut. It's uncovered. He's the guy there. But it all comes down to hot goaltending, Eddie. When you get into the playoffs, do you have a hot
Absolutely.
goaltender or not? That's what it's going to come down to.
Hey, college basketball, Pitt 2-2 in the ACC, 12-5, win over Louisville, and then over number 11 Florida State, 75-62. And the freshman guard Trey McGowan has been tremendous, and Xavier Johnson. I'm saying this right now. You guys can say what you want. Right now, in the first-year basketball coach Jeff Capel, there's a bigger upside for Pitt basketball than there is for Pitt football going
I
into
say
Narduzzi's
geez.
5th
I
year.
say
you think.
What's the lady's name? We're always forgetting the AD.
Heather Light.
Best hire in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
at Pitt.
the enthusiasm is back there.
No,
Yeah,
getting Cable.
for people who think coaching doesn't matter, they're wrong.
Cable did something great.
That is it for us. We've run out of time. We will see you next week.